my rocker box oil seals have shit themselves. So I'll get the tank off, we'll get the box covers off, and then we'll get them swapped out. Right, so I've spun the engine over till both rockers are loose. I'm just going to loosen those off now to take any pressure off them. Don't need to get all the way off. I'm now going to loosen off the oil feed. There are the copper washers as well you need to keep hold of. Ideally you need to put new ones on. If you haven't got new ones, you can anneal the old ones as long as they're not too badly damaged. Just lift that out of the way. And there's another copper washer there on the back. Just pop that off. Keep it safe. They will come off eventually. Get one off the other side. Next job is to drive out the shaft. Be careful when you do this because there's a couple of shims either side of the rockers, so you need to put a bar in at the same time to do it. Starting off with a brass drift just to break the seal on the far end. Once the seal comes out the other end, it should become a lot easier. Don't hammer it all the way out. There you go, just giving a little bit. I've got a suitable bar now to go in and help support maintaining the pressure so those little shims don't disappear. There we go, one shaft out. Right, so there's a shaft out. I've got it mounted in the soft jaws. Give it a clean out, and I've also blown out the gallery to make sure all the holes are actually clear. So we need to pick off the old O-ring. Just like that. Very square. And I'll get him a little box of O-rings, which I've got just here. And we'll find one that suits. Alright, found an O-ring that fit. Just roll it over. Make sure it's gone in the slot nicely, which it has. And we now need to refit it. Got a tool for that. See you in a minute. Right, there's a couple of ways of getting these in. If you don't have the tool to do the job, one option is to stick a decent chamfer on that piece of the casing round there just to help the O-ring slip over. But I have got the correct tool for it. And all that does, it's a little wedge, it's got a slight taper on it. Fits over and it will help guide the O-ring in. I have put a little smear of grease on there just to help it through. Make sure there's no bits of swarf or anything lying around in there. Get rid of those and just push that through nice and gently. A little bit of oil on the shaft does help as well. See, a bit wobbling around now to try and get everything to line up. Like that. And then we just give it a little bit of assistance with a percussion instrument. Once you've got enough thread protruding on the other side, what you can do, stick the nut on and help draw it through. You might need to do this a couple of times with some washers to bulk it out a bit. keep on doing that. I'll keep on adding some washers to bulk it out until I've actually got the shaft drawn in. Right, I actually get it in now. Put all the washers on it. As you can see, there's quite a few. Make sure we get them all off. And now we need to set the valve clearances. Right, to set the valve clearances. Feeler gauge at 6 south for the exhaust. I've stuck it into gear and wound it round, wound the engine round until the rockers are loose. Loosened off the nut. Some of them you will have a hex head, some will be square heads. There's different sorts, some are screw fittings. Let's slide the feeler gauge in. I might need to loosen the screw off a bit more. Slide the feeler gauge in. Do the screw up until you feel it, and then undo it a little bit so you've got a little bit of drag on there. Snip the lock nut up. Check it again. And that should be good. There we go. That's the front's done. I'll get on with the rears and get the other seal done. Right, new copper washers. Going to anneal them to soften them up a bit before I put them on, because I don't know how they're being manufactured, so they could be rock hard, and then we'll get them fitted. Just need to get them cherry red, so I'll get the rest of those done and then we'll crack on getting the rest fitted. So, washer, oil pipe, washer, nut, throw it on the floor, and then we'll get them torqued up. Torque setting for the dome nuts, 22 foot-pounds. Always torque up as you're going along, because you might forget them. Right, next job, rocker box covers. Torqued up to 5 foot-pounds. They've had a very light smear of Hylamar on there because these very rarely leak. He lies, they leak all the time. These are just 5 foot-pounds. That's them nipped up. Here's a quick trick for you, how to get the nut back on the tank support. But not on a Phillips screwdriver. Wash on top if you got one. Hold them on with your thumb. Stick it on top of the bolt. Make sure it's all lined up nicely. Not the best design in the world, these. Just drop it down until the washer sits on. You can then get in, nip it up, he says, with ease. And there we go. So there we go, all fitted. What I need to do now is take it to test ride, get it warmed up 10-15 minutes, good run out, come back when the oil's nice and slim, leave it on its side stand for a while so it's leaning on that side, and see how much it leaks. I won't do that today because I've just had a fuel tap snap off, so something else I've got to do. Thanks for watching.